not. Although I think it's 7 minutes long or 7 seconds long. What's up, guys? All right, I gotta mute my YouTube. All right. So what's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? I see we got lots of people already over in the chat. All right. I think Vector was first. What's up, Vector and Mr. Inferno? Welcome, welcome. We got GK Man and P Dubs. Hi, guys. Who else is here? Kilo Whiskey Forge. All right, he's coming in. He's coming in with a lock. If you got a Schlage 9-pin with a 3 behind it, I'd say the bidding does indeed matter. How early am I? You are just a couple seconds early. You were only a couple seconds early. All right. Let's see. I assume we are having a one in the first pin chamber. Evil stuff. All right. Let's see. Eddie B, what's up? Not Too Dead. Izumu Sushi. John Doe. Hi. Walter Roach, welcome. And Squanic Locksport, welcome. All right. So, hey, guys. Hey. Gonna wait a couple of minutes till we start. But what's everybody up to? What you all doing tonight? What's everybody got going on? What time is it for you guys? It is 7:45 for me. 7:45. And yeah, I wanted to do just a regular I wanted to do a video about this. And I thought it would be better to kind of approach it in a live stream where I could tell you what I think, tell you my thoughts on this whole thing, like I would have put in a video. But then I want to get you guys' opinions, because I did take a poll on this over on the subreddit r/lockpicking. I checked that out. I put up a question, asked a bunch of people what they thought about this, and I got a bunch of answers I want to take a look at, and I figured I would put it in a live stream so we could discuss it. Okay, so yeah, everybody get settled in here. a bunch of best IC cores. I hate those. 4:43 p.m. for Squanic. Okay. And you guys will have to excuse me because I've got some kind of cold. I got my Blistex here. I got my chapstick. I've got my little thing that I can inhale the vapors, like this little vapor thing, so I can breathe again. Because I don't know what happened. I woke up today and I just, I'm all congested. I'm not happy about it, because that's my most hated thing. Second to being nauseated is being congested. So I'm very unhappy about it. Dig, what's up, Dig? Welcome. Yeah, I think we're going to have some varying opinions on this subject. But my point that I want to kind of get across is we're talking about, when I say the bidding, I want to clarify that I mean, yes, you made it on time, Doc. Welcome. I'm just kind of BSing for a minute here until I get into things. Hi, Dig. Just till everybody kind of gets here. If anybody wanted to stop into the conversation, I figured I'd wait to kind of get into the the meat of things. Yes, people, drop a like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. I know I have a thing that says please hit the like. Where is it? It's not in here. I must have lost it. I did have those nice little videos that said please hit the like, and they seem to have disappeared. So about this one, please hit the like. Please hit the like. I like the red one. It matches my sweater today. Damn. Check it out. I mean, come on. What's up, Ryan Wilson? Welcome. All right. I want to check for flying pigs. Hold on, let me look out the window. Oh shit, yeah, I do see a couple pigs flying, Doc. I see a couple pigs flying. I really do. Yeah. So what I want to talk about here. What's up, lockpicking poet? Welcome, welcome. So basically, what I want to talk about is when I say the bidding of the key, when it like how it matters. I want to kind of clarify this, because when you're talking about like locks up to, if you follow the LPU belt system, until up about, I want to say blue belt, maybe purple belt level. Okay. I think it doesn't really matter. When you get to locks kind of purple belt and above, then I would say that it matters. And I'm not talking about I'm talking about for picking, just for sitting down to pick a lock. There are a few different reasons that I think the bidding can matter on locks that are under purple belt, but I believe there has to be a kind of convergence of a couple of different things happening for it to really matter. I think that you've got to have a tighter keyway, like a pretty tight keyway. All right. On top of that, you've got to have some, high and low kind of cuts in your key. I think you got to have the binding order has to match up, right? Because you might have high and low and you might have a tight keyway, but if the binding order is where, you pick the high lift, the very first pin, then it doesn't really matter if you bump into anything, because none of that's binding, right? So if none of those are binding, you could go right through that lock, hit that high lift, and, then pick the low ones, and it never oversets anything, and it never really makes a difference. So I think you have to have quite a few things happening in order for the bidding of the key to actually make a difference. If you look at, let's say, a pack lock, because this is what was driving me crazy. I was over on the subreddit and it had to have been 10 posts in one day where people were showing their pack locks, and with their pack locks, they were showing a picture of the key. And they were like, you know what? This is going to be a good one. Check out that bidding. And everyone in the comments was like, oh yeah, dude, that's going to be rough. Good luck on that one. Just making it into like a big thing for the bidding of the key on a pack lock. But if you take a look at the pack lock, it has a huge wide open keyway, So even if you've got the high and low bidding and you've got, the binding order, say you do have to pick that low lift first and then a high lift. So you got to kind of go around it and be careful. That's still not really going to make a difference, because you have a giant wide open keyway with tons of space from the bottom of the pins till the bottom of the keyway. So your pick can go in there and kind of, you can angle it around and do all kind of stuff, and you're not really going to overset anything. You got a giant keyway. So on those pack locks, I don't really think the bidding of the key makes one bit of a damn difference. Not a single bit of difference. I've picked a bunch of them now. I have a whole drawer full of like crazy bidded pack locks, from, Kraken's crazy one to, snakes and all that. And on some of the ones that I've had the worst time with, it's had really tame, regular old bidding. And I've had a hell of a time picking them. So I don't think it matters. I think we're kind of pushing this like false narrative about bidding to the newer pickers, because when we do a YouTube video, what's the first thing we do? This is my such and such, and here's the bidding of the key, and we show the bidding of the key, right? We show it, and so we kind of make a point for everybody to look at it and everybody to see what it looks like. And I think we're kind of making people think it's super important on these like lower level locks, I don't think that unless those things all line up and converge together, where you've got the keyway and the binding order and the crazy bidding, I don't know that it really makes one bit of difference, because I've picked a couple of different locks where I didn't check the keys, and then afterwards I look, and the one I thought might have some crazy bidding because it was a little bit tougher ended up being the one that was just regular old bidding, So yeah, I think it matters on some locks. I think it definitely matters if all of those things converge in there. but I don't think it matters for the most part on a lot of those lower level locks. And I think it just drives me nuts to go into the Discord because every single post with the pack locks is talking about the bidding of the key. I don't know. I don't think it makes all that much of a difference to, to that at all. And in fact, let's see, I do have where I asked the question to the subreddit, and I've got somebody in Purple Belt saying, I don't feel any difference really when it comes to feedback. In my opinion, I think aggressive bidding is something that keeps the less experienced from opening locks because they will either underset a really high pin or overset a really low pin in front of it. Knowing when to switch picks can be the challenge. So I think a lot of that's true. Knowing when to switch picks. I don't necessarily think it's the bidding, it's just, for us, we know when to switch picks, right? Because we feel like, oh, I can't reach that pin. So we grab another pick and then we pick that pin, John Doe, thank you for the super chat. Likes liquid fire emulating. I don't know how to say that. I'm going to butcher it, so I'm not going to say it. But I don't know what that is. I don't know if I like liquid fire from that. And thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. And let's see. All right. Bidding is irrelevant as long as you have A, different hook profiles to account for the lift needed, and B, room in the keyway to make use of the different hooks. I think a lot of the hype around bidding is a carryover from both YouTube and the challenge lock community, where people tend to act like high-low bidding is sometimes a nightmare scenario. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people just are mostly having troubles with pick choice, not realizing when they are not reaching something, so they're picking and they're not realizing that they're not reaching something. They can't really tell that they underset something, they're just wondering why it's not opening. They can't feel that yet. But once they start learning how to feel that, I think, they wouldn't have any issues with the bidding. But when you're up to a pack lock, what is that? Blue belt, right? You're up to a blue belt by now. So you should definitely know when you're undersetting a pin, in my opinion. I think most of the time it doesn't make as much of a difference as people think, but occasionally it could make a big difference. Like in a lock with a restrictive keyway, exactly. It could be the difference between picking in a gravy spot off the warding with a 23,000s or having to squeeze up through tight warding from the bottom with the 15,000s. Yeah. Again, if you can have all those things again. You can actually, I forgot about holes in the warding. You can have all of those things, including the binding order, making it so you have to pick that low set pin first and then the high set pin. And if you've got holes in the warding, then you just pick through the holes in the warding. That eliminates the the worry about the high-low bidding again. So yeah, that's another thing that you've got to not have any holes in the warding to pick from. Somebody says they do have a noticeable difference in picking a 410 lotto lock. So I super disagree with that one, because I definitely have a couple 410 lotto locks that Chris Cabune sent me. And one of them has the wildest bidding I've ever seen, and one has very tame bidding. And I can pick the one with the crazy wild bidding, and I can't pick the one with the regular old bidding, because it's just, for some reason, drives me insane. And it has just regular bidding. So I disagree about that one, because again, that has a pretty big, wide open keyway and tons of room from the bottom of the pin to the bottom of the keyway, I feel like. So you can fit a longer hook in there, and it doesn't really hurt anything. But it is a lower belted lock, so I could see maybe people don't realize they're undersetting a pin yet. Could be. Maybe. Perhaps, maybe. Let's see. Not as experienced, but I don't really think of the bidding that much at all. Or I don't look at a key and go, wow, the bidding. It just doesn't register in my brain like that. That's actually a very good point. I think that's a good way to pick the lock, you know? Don't really pay attention to the bidding. No, this is all, like I said, from about purple belt and under. Once you get to about purple belt and that, you're actually, the reason for that is because once you get to purple belt and that, you're starting to see more of those things can converge a lot of times, right? Because then you're getting up to locks with very tight keyways, locks that might not have holes in the warding, locks that might have a super duper paracentric tight keyway like the Vink House. Those ones are pretty crazy, you know? And I don't know, do those Vink House even have holes in the warding? I don't know that they do. Or yeah, they might. Some might, some might not. I can't remember. I know I picked one that did, but it was still really tough. You had to get like a very, thin hook that could fit up through the warding and be long enough to pick those really high lifts that are in there. But yeah, as you go up and move up in the belts, you do see a lot more of those things at one time. You see the tighter keyways, you see the high-low pens a lot, you see the binding order be that way, So a lot of those things kind of start coming together as you go up into the higher belts. So that's why I feel like it's kind of like purple belt down. Doesn't really matter because you don't really see, and I guess from purple belt down, you don't really see a lot of all those things coming together on a lock. Maybe on, what is that? The diamond, what is that lock called? The Berg Vokters, those have crazy keyways and all that stuff. That one's tough. The Abus XP1. Yep. Yeah. So those ones like that is where it starts coming to be like kind of coming together with a lot of those things at once. And it gets tougher to pick because of all of those things. But again, sometimes depending on those won't really matter if you found like holes in the warding or, things like that. But a lot of those locks start having all those things at once. So that's why I feel like they definitely start to matter once you move up a little bit. Somebody said really tame bidding means your odds of getting caught on the warding or having a hook that isn't steep enough bump and overset the pin in front of your target while you are seeing your target. Top of keyway with a stopper high pin one can also be a nuisance, but overall, yeah, I kind of agree that after the earliest belts, the bidding doesn't matter too much for a few belts. Yeah. I don't know what getting caught on the warding, maybe picking the warding he meant. I don't know. Yeah, the bidding makes a difference when I have to change picks. But again, once you change picks, it does not matter. So to me, that would constitute doesn't matter. Let's see. I find the low pins at the front of the lock pretty challenging, but I wouldn't call it wild. I would say a wild bidding is a combination of both in succession. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it seems like it's very overhyped. However, if you go to that, if you go to the subreddit r/lockpicking, literally right now, I bet you could find a picture somebody with a freaking a pack lock going, check out the bidding. I swear it's an everyday thing. Every day I go on here and see it. Let me see. Yeah, and if anything, people should be saying about a Lockwood, because even on the Lockwood, sometimes that can make them pretty crazy and kind of difficult to pick. But I just see it so much, and I feel like we got to start trying to not make it like that anymore, because I feel like it's definitely making people get nervous about picking some locks. They'll be like, oh, that one has crazy bidding. It's gonna be hard, and they start out picking a lock afraid of it because of the bidding, or not afraid but intimidated by it because of the bidding. And I don't think that should be the case. I think people should pay much less attention to that, especially on these stupid pack locks.